Hey! Welcome to week 2.
Week 2 of Advent.
This week, we're talking about peace.
And it's getting closer to Christmas.
2 weeks.
Yes.
So exciting. We love Christmas.
This is our Christmas series, week 2.
Yeah, girl.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so before we talk about peace, we gotta do our thingy things.
Yes.
So, I'm jumping in with the fun thing for this week, which is, we were just talking about it, and it came to my mind, and that's what I decided I want to talk about. My fun thing is, I very recently, as in at the time of recording, like an hour ago, held a chicken.
For the first time?
No, not for the first time.
Okay.
But I'm just going to give an appreciation / also minor roast of chickens. I love them. Their feathers come in such varieties. You know the ones that have the big fluffy feet? Ugh. I love those little suckers. They're so fluffy.
What are they called? We had some at one point, and I have to show you some pictures.
You had fluffy chickens?
We did, but then they all got... Never mind. They all got eaten.
Okay.
They disappeared.
We won't get into that.
They disappeared
We
somehow.
won't get into that. One of my goals in life is someday when I'm living and I'm settled, I want chickens. I would love a coop of chickens.
Same.
I would love a bunch of chickens.
Yes.
However many is functional and practical for me.
Eggs.
And I would love to use their eggs, eat their eggs. And I just, honestly, I don't care what people say. I think they're cute. I love the feathers. I love the shape of their little bodies. But I also appreciate a real good piece of fried chicken.
That took a turn.
I can eat chicken and love chickens, okay? That's one thing about me. So really, I just love the variety of the feather colors. I think that if I had to say my favorite color of chicken, I think that those, like, black and white spotty ones, or, like, stripy, I don't know. They're, like, black and white. I think that those look pretty cool, but I think that I love a classic brownie red chicken, like a rust-colored chicken. I like when they have some stripes in their feathers.
I like them when they're darker because we used to have some white ones and they get so dirty so fast, so then the brown ones always just look nice because you can't tell.
Yeah, their feet do creep me out a little. And
they do have weird feet.
They have weird feet. And also, I was pecked by one.
So was I.
And it tried to come for my croc, as in my Crocs and my shoes. So that was a little bit,
pushing boundaries.
I lost a little bit of respect for that specific chicken. But I do like holding them. I think they're nice. Their feathers are very silky. So then life goal, have a well-ventilated coop.
For chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that I will say to roast them is those little red cones
Gobblers.
On the top of their head and on their jowls. Those are a little weird to me. And their eyes.
I would like to know what those are for. Like, what's the purpose?
Decoration. God was
but
like,
is it,
I'm gonna give
or
them
do they
some
have like a
cute stuff.
purpose?
I don't
Because
know.
like when you think about our toes, it's like, why do we have them? They're just so weird.
No,
and they're just
it
like
makes sense that we have
decoration.
toes.
But then you look more into it, balance. Oh,
Toes aren't decorative.
Whatever. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Their eyes. Don't look a chicken in the
Little
eyes.
beady.
That's a little bit too far. That's a little too far. But I like them, and the way they move is just comical and
move like
endearing.
Flippin' robot. It's like they don't move
They're like
majestic.
robots.
It's like
And like you said that when we were out there with
Yeah.
them, every move they make, it looks like they have to be like cracking joints.
It's like a small fast move, and then it's like an abrupt stop.
Mm-hmm.
They're just weird. They just
like
don't
they're stalling.
move majestically. And Anyway.
So yeah, that's our fun thing, chickens.
That's chickens for you.
Appreciate your local chicken. Enjoy eating chicken too. I love eating a good chicken. I love meeting a good chicken. Someone make me that on a t-shirt. Hearing from God,
Okay. Moving past chickens. Hearing from God. Today, I decided to talk about... Recently, I have just been really chill. Just whatever happens, happens. And I've just been at peace with everything, which is strange because I have a lot of decisions to make. And I have a lot to do. And usually I'm like, gotta get this done, work. Always doing all these things. But in the past couple of days, I've just been like, yeah, just chill. And which is not me, but also I have been making habit of spending more time with the Lord every day. So I think that that's probably a side effect.
Mm-hmm.
A good side effect of that, which is awesome because it's really helpful to enjoy where you are, enjoy the phase of life if you're at peace and you're just able to be calm, which is awesome. So, yeah, that's why it kind of relates to the episode. Moving on to sponsor. Today, our sponsor of this episode is Mary. Is Jesus' mom.
Mary, the mother of Jesus.
And obviously we don't know what she was actually like in person because we never met her, but if you watch The Chosen, she is played as such a sweet, kind lady in The Chosen, which I'm assuming she was. But also she was very young when she had Jesus, so I can't imagine being that young and having a kid. And also, people thought she was crazy and people thought she was
unpure.
A bad person because she was pregnant, but she was still a virgin.
And she wasn't married yet.
So everyone was like, oh my goodness, this lady is horrible. What did she get herself into? And she just had trust. The Lord told her that this was going to happen, and she was just...
I don't know how much strength that would have taken, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally giving birth to the Savior?
And you would, like, I would never feel, if that was me, I would never feel worthy enough to be the one,
like, and she had other kids.
Jesus.
Her and Joseph went on to have a bunch of other kids.
Yeah. I wouldn't feel like, why'd you choose me? That's what I would be wondering the whole time. I wonder if God ever told her why he chose her. I don't know. Anyway, she was a very strong lady. Bible? No, it doesn't say why he chose her exactly.
I guess not. But I often think about Jesus' siblings, too.
Mm-hmm.
He was also the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine your brother being Jesus.
Imagine living in that shadow.
Yeah. And I wonder if they knew.
Yeah. Like, going up and just
obviously they would have picked up on something as more... He just knows more than we do.
He's just different. Yeah.
But I don't know if Mary and Joseph would have sat down with them and been like, so your brother's the Messiah.
He's the savior of the universe. He's everything.
He's everything.
He's the beginning and the end, and he is God. That is crazy.
So imagine getting sat down. Kedah, we have to tell you something. You have a family member and he is God.
What?
What?
That's crazy.
Thank goodness none of us have to deal with that because he has already existed.
Yeah.
And he already
that would just be
died and came back to life.
I just can't even imagine. Anyway, thank you, Mary, for sponsoring
Thank
this
you, Mary.
video.
You're a strong woman. We love you.
Yeah.
Good for you. You rocked that birth. Imagine how hard it would have been to give birth in a freaking stable.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, too.
There would have been crap on the ground somewhere.
Yeah.
Good, wow.
It would be so unsanitary.
Well, Mary.
Kudos to you.
Kudos.
Moving on. Our topic for week 2 is peace. Peace is a big word. When you think about peace,
world peace, inner peace.
Lots of different things could come to your mind.
Yeah.
And when you look up peace, there's a couple different definitions, but I think one of the definitions is the absence of, like, craziness. No, the absence of busyness. I don't know what the definition is actually, but that's the meaning.
I like that, though. I like thinking about it as the absence of something.
Yeah.
Because then that leads us to think that peace is a natural state.
Yeah.
And it's only when things are added that we start feeling chaotic. It's not like we're always just chaotic and every once in a while we get peace. It's like peace is the base level.
Yeah.
I like thinking about it like that.
Yeah, same.
That's cool.
So peace. And I guess hope ties into trust with our future. And so does peace, because when you trust the Lord with your future, then He gives you peace. All these things. And as a Christian, you don't just... I guess our base level is peace. But living in the world that we are in, you're not going to be at peace all the time. Because there's things that we all have in our lives. But even through them, we can still have peace. It doesn't just come. You have to let go of things. You have to, in the Bible it says, cast your cares on Him. And don't worry about anything. And pray to Him for all these things. And even let Him rule your heart, and He will give you peace.
Not even on like a big life event scale. Like sometimes it can just plain be hard to find an area to pray that is peaceful. Sometimes your house is loud, or you're driving in your car and the traffic's crazy. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Side note, I really love praying in my car and worshiping in my car. There's just something about, I don't know, I find it so easy to in my car, because I guess we're not really alone much. Even at home, like if I'm in my room, I'm not alone and I can't just, I don't know, it would be weird. But in my car, I have this assurance that I'm alone. And I just can talk to Him freely, which is really cool. First I want to read Philippians 4:7. I'll read 6 and 7. Starting at 6, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for what He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. Right there. That's how you get peace. But easier said than done. For sure. Worry is just it's a creeper.
It's a distraction. That's what it is. It's such a distraction.
Yeah.
Because when I'm worried about something, it's all I can think about. And it takes over my whole body. I get a headache. I get a stomach ache. I can't sleep. It's all I'm thinking about. And that's devoting so much of my time to not God.
And when we're worried, we're not even thinking about, okay, what do I have to do to not be worried anymore? We just keep worrying. We just keep thinking about the fact that we're worried. It's like when you can't fall asleep at night, so then you're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be so tired tomorrow, it's going to be horrible, and then because you're worrying about how tired you're going to be tomorrow, you stay up even later, and you're getting even less sleep. Instead of just focusing on going to sleep. Yeah. We're horrible problem solvers. Anyway, God is peace, and it's unbelievable.
So what I wanted to talk about first is that we can be confident in that it may not be now, it might not feel like right now, but Jesus will bring us peace at some point and throughout our lives, and eventually He'll bring total peace to the entire world forever. Jesus is called the mediator in several places in the Bible. Examples are Galatians 3, 1 Timothy chapter 2, Hebrews chapters 8, 9, 12. He is referenced as the mediator several times. And I think a lot of our lack of peace stems from conflict. Right? Like, had a fight with someone, or we're fighting against ourselves with something. Or even if you think on a huge scale, a country is not peaceful if it's at war. You know?
Yeah.
Lack of peace can stem from conflict, often. But Jesus is known as the mediator. When Jesus died, he tore the curtain in the temple, and now people can go freely between themselves and God.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus is the ultimate go-between. He can solve any argument. And because he has a perfect sense of justice, and God is totally just, everything that God is, he is fully, and he is all the time. God is always good. God is always completely good. God is always completely just and has the perfect sense of justice. So that means that at some point or another, Jesus will heal all of your conflict, all of your wounds, because that's who he is.
Yeah.
And that creates perfect peace in our lives.
Romans 8, verse 6, it says, letting your sinful nature control your mind leads to death, but letting the Spirit control your mind leads to life and peace. So when we have a spirit mindset and we go into the day, the time, I don't know, the week,
go into the time.
Being spirit-filled, then guess what it leads to? Life and peace. Mm-hmm. So when we're worried, we're not dwelling in the Spirit. So that is something to reflect on. And also, peace is a way that he sends confirmation to us in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. Like making decisions, especially if you have peace about something and you're just totally calm about it, that's a certain way to know that is his will. That's what he wants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have peace and you're worried about it and you're freaking out, then it's probably not in the plan, it's not in the will, it's not what you're supposed to do. So that's really
well, but
helpful.
You have to be discerning, though, because sometimes it could be right for you, but the devil really doesn't want you going there, he's making you worried.
You have to be in the Spirit when you're
mm-hmm.
thinking this, too, and you can't just... If you're in the flesh, then it's going to be confusing. Mark 4, verse 35 to 41. There's a story about when Jesus calms the storm. And I'm just going to read it because it's short, but it's good. As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat and began to fill with water. Jesus was sleeping in the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Peace, be still." Suddenly the wind stopped, and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The disciples were absolutely terrified. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "Even the wind and the waves obey him." So that is an example of peace, because Jesus, it says lots in the Bible, he's the Prince of Peace, but he's just so calm, and he's like, "Guys, just chill out. I got it. Just have faith."
Relax,
and then he says to the wind and the waves, "Peace, be still."
Mm-hmm.
So that, metaphorically, thinking about the problems around us and everything we're going through and the storms that we're facing in our lives, we can just have faith and just be calm, because he's going to say to our storm too, "Peace, be still."
I think that the most beautiful part about Jesus' peace is that he doesn't need any prerequisites from us in order to give it to us. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Mm-hmm. Jesus wants to give us his peace because he sees us struggling and he wants to fix it. He doesn't say, like, "Okay, clean up, then come inside, maybe I'll give you peace." He's like, "You're covered in mud right now, let me give you a hug."
Yeah.
You know? He wants to take us in because of the problems we have, and he wants to heal us. He's just so loving. He wants to give us that peace.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wants the best for you.
Mhm.
Trust him.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that you're just doing something, or you're doing something, and then you just all of a sudden feel this overwhelming love for Jesus? You just all of a sudden are just like, oh my goodness, I just love him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. And then it's just like, I wonder if that's just, God's just like, here, she needs a little reminder. Anyway, thank you for listening to our Advent episode on peace.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Come back next week
For another episode.
You bet. Next week will be joy.
Thanks for listening.
Love
See you
ya.
next week. All
All
for
for
Jesus.
Jesus.